All right. Happy Thursday, or happy Friday, I should say. We're recording this on a Thursday night, but you will see us on a Friday. It's the Believe in Georgia Dogs podcast on the Believe Network. Joining me, he is going for most consecutive hours awake. I think he's closing in on the record here. At a 4:30 a.m. wake-up call, it's my man, Israel Troop. What's up?
What's up, man? It's been a long day, but a good day. OTA season down here in Georgia, so had our last one today, and now it's dead period, so we get about 10 days off before usually after dead periods when the season really starts for us down here.
Yeah, same here. Like, it doesn't matter. We're on July 10th. We're gonna get it back cranking up, and we're on dead period right now. We've been all this week, and then we'll be on dead period, much like you guys next week, and then July 10th, we're back for real.
Ooh, that's tough. In 2 weeks, boy, it's brutal. Like we were just talking, I can only imagine if we gave our kids 2 weeks off.
It's almost like you have to reteach when they get back. It's crazy.
Oh yeah.
See, I like the way Georgia handles that. I like that you guys do Memorial Day that week, so y'all start a week later, but you get that week back because you don't have 2 weeks surrounding 4th of July like we do.
Yep. So Georgia figured it out that way. It used to only be 1 week, which would be this coming week. But they give us 2 now for Memorial Day.
Yeah, that's probably good. I mean, a lot of people are probably coming back and getting their bearings after Memorial Day vacation. Same with 4th of July. So it's might as well. We have our first game a week before y'all do as well. So I think all our scrimmages and stuff, our first game, you guys are still on your scrimmages and stuff. Like your full dress rehearsal scrimmages, I think is where y'all are at, right? Or jamborees or things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it is good. It's almost time. July 10th, none of this will matter. We'll all just be cracking, man. It's but yeah, like I said, it's still preseason for us here at Believe in Georgia Dogs. We are presented by Betonline.ag, the number one sports betting site for all. They have all your sports betting needs, whether you need live odds, props, futures. They have even a casino, so if you like to play Caribbean stud poker, they've got it for you. I don't know why you would want to play that game, but they have it for you available. They have it all at betonline.ag. So what you need to do, if you're interested, go to betonline.ag. Either do that on your computer or your mobile device. I think they even have an app. And when you go to make your first deposit, type in that promo code BELIEVE. That's BLEAV right there. You can do your head. It's spelt right there. Right there underneath me if you're having trouble spelling believe, but you'll get a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit, just entering that promo code, and you'll get to enjoy all of the benefits of betonline.ag. So betonline.ag is where the game starts. So a quick little programming note, just to kind of give you guys a glimpse into the future of kind of what to expect when the season starts. Now we'll start to build after dead period. We'll kind of use dead period as kind of like our dead period too. So like we'll do a show here or there like we've been doing for the summer, and then once we get back from dead period, we'll start to kind of increase the amount of shows, and then like during season, it's going to be like you're going to see us all the time. But we'll have a post game wrap up show that'll air on Monday. We'll have YouTube shorts that supplement that for Tuesday. We'll cut that show up and maybe we'll record a fresh short, just a couple shorts just to keep some things flowing. Wednesday you'll see us again. We'll do kind of like an opponent preview, kind of like a deep dive into who Georgia is playing that week. More of like a tail of the tape type episode. Clean up on any storylines and things like that, things that we missed from the past weekend that we didn't get a chance to talk about. Wednesday night, you will see me live on SEC After Dark. We run that on our channel, so that'll be our Wednesday night stuff. Thursday will be some supplemental things from from our shows. And then Friday, you will see us again. We will be making our picks. We'll be making our final analysis for the games, making our picks. And then, of course, on social media, you can always follow us and you can always see all the content there. Rave on Sports, Twitter, Instagram, things like that. We'll probably make some shorts throughout the weekend, just kind of like instant reaction type stuff. So just be on the lookout for all that stuff. So you'll see us plenty. And if you want to see Betonline.ag down there in the bottom right corner as you see it. If you want to get your name on the screen, just let me know, and we'll make that happen. So that's a quick programming note. That's kind of what to expect. We'll work towards that. We'll build towards that as fall camp happens. As the preseason magazine season, SEC media days, we'll try to have a few guests on before. That's our goal. And then we'll try to work up until fall camp, then one fall camp, week 1, week 2, week 3, then we'll get in the groove of the season. So I'm excited, man.
Absolutely. It's going to be fun. It's coming fast. Football season's happening when you start reading the headlines of, certain journalists who, really doesn't like us very much. So, there's just this the article that I read yesterday is about the same as dealing with the Athens police. I don't know what beef, this guy has with Georgia. And, right when, SEC Media Day is about to crank up and, all this great stuff is kind of going on, boom, here it is, so yep. It's an unfortunate situation. Obviously, I'm never going to say, it should be just forgotten, but at the same time, is it really newsworthy, the way that it's being put out? That's my question. Is it really newsworthy the way that you're putting it out? If you're putting it out when it happened and things like that, I had no clue, about the situation until yesterday. No clue.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of under wraps, and like, then all of a sudden, boom, it's like the timing of all these is kind of fishy. I mean, the situation is terrible. Don't get me wrong on that. The situation's terrible. You hate to see that. But just the timing of it, like when was it reported versus like how long have they been sitting on that? Like what is the motive as far as the reporting goes and things like that? So you never really know what goes on with all of that stuff. It's just, absolutely. I don't know, man.
And then when you read it, you're like, never heard about it. So, in the back of your mind, you're like, how bad was it? We kind of knew about, the Anderson deal. And we saw what happened with that. He was dismissed from the team at the time. And, I think it's still ongoing because I haven't heard anything about that, and anything else, as we go through and you start reading all these names that just happen to come about. We know Raiola Thomas had his submission, right before spring hit.
Now you got Jamal Jarrett. So
it's like, what's going on? And 2, if the legal system has it figured out, UGA has it figured out, why all of a sudden now? Because that happened way, way, way back. So in June, what was yesterday? 28th, June 28th, now all of a sudden it's coming out. What's the motive?
Yeah, it's like, what the heck, man? It's like, I'm reading a lot of the stuff, and this was from the initial interviews a year ago. I mean, it's like, this thing has been stringing along, and it's just all of a sudden, okay, well, I don't know, man.
I'll tell you what it is. I don't know what Coach Smart's done. I know they're kind of on vacation now because of the new recruiting scope for NCAA, but, knock on wood, nobody's been in trouble, so there's nothing to report on. So what do? You have to go back and see exactly, all right, what happened. You have to dig up some stuff. Trying to dig up something on a kid. Here's the thing. This is an adult attacking a kid because of your disdain for the university. That's really what it boils down to.
Yeah.
So if it was my child, then we definitely have a problem. I will be driving to Atlanta to talk to, said journalist or reporter or whatever he wants to call himself. That's just me.
Yeah. It's almost like he was just waiting, just couldn't, just was like, oh, sweet, slow news. Let me get my name back out there.
Let me see what's going on, because I hadn't seen a tweet or anything. But this also goes to show you too, any college athlete, any parent, high school coach, anything, make sure you talk to these young men and ladies, at the same time. Somebody's always watching. Whatever you do will always be brought to light. This little thing right here, gets in trouble. So just make sure you're being smart. Just, and our old defense coordinator said all the time, don't be dumb. Just don't be dumb.
Don't be dumb.
Make great decisions and understand, you're in $1 billion industry, and for me, especially if I was in a time like this, staying out of trouble is my top priority.
Yeah.
And besides going to school and playing ball, that comes with it. But, at the very, very top, staying out of trouble, because your name is your trademark now. So you got to protect your name.
Yep. And these are conversations that need to happen, that I just think that the more educated the players are, the easier these situations, because I think also when you get, as a young kid, especially as a 16-year-old, you get in these situations and you're just in the moment. And if you're in the moment and next thing you know, you hear the voice in your head, like from a session or from your coach going, watch out, or, red flags are flying up, then, maybe they avoid these situations. I don't know. Like what?
Absolutely. And we live in a world with no consequences to now. So,
yeah,
it is, it wasn't my fault. Let's give him a chance and things like that too. So, you got to bet on yourself. So hey, I can't get in trouble. I can't, if you got to think about it, you probably shouldn't do it. That's what I tell my players all the time. You got to think about it. You probably shouldn't do it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And just, I don't know, just be, especially if you're at a high profile place like Georgia or Alabama or Florida, if you're in the NFL, which, you're a grown adult in the NFL. So maybe that's not a great example, but like if you're in one of these big time college towns and you're a big time recruit, you're a big time player, with a bunch of stars behind your name, you're going to get attention everywhere you go. And you've got to navigate as if there is cameras in your face at all times. Like you have to navigate as if you're in a fishbowl. What I want the whole world to see what I'm doing right now. And if you think like that, maybe you avoid these situations. So just got to be careful. Honestly, you got to be careful who you hang out with. You got to be careful what you do. You got to be guarded. Unfortunately, like these guys can't let loose.
Absolutely. Just as well as I do. Let's just take situations. Florida's coming out with their deal. I think it's on Netflix, coming out soon. During that Urban Meyer era.
That was, that's not going to be so great.
So just think about all the situations, right, that we've heard about Baylor, that whole deal, things like that. We knew nothing about those things until, I don't know, national media got it. It wasn't just like the state, like AJC for us is like the state newspaper, right? Yeah. So we never knew about any of that. The Gainesville Chronicles, whatever they're called, anything like that, whatever Baylor's called over there. Never heard of it until it made national news, right? But anything that happens in Athens is, I hadn't heard one thing about Georgia Tech, Georgia State, Georgia Southern, Kennesaw, Georgia State, Georgia College and State, Augusta State, Savannah. I've never heard anything about those other schools in any newspaper. You always hear about Georgia Bulldogs. And it's like, what did we do? Who did we piss off? 18, whatever it was, until 2023 to anything. If you fart in an elevator, somebody's going to tell you about it. You know what I mean? So who did we piss off?
Yeah, that one guy that shall remain nameless will be lurking right around the corner to sniff it out. So absolutely. Yeah, it's
all crazy. On that one.
Very much pun intended. So let's move on. This is a depressing topic, but hopefully everything works out for
it's a
our
fun
guy.
topic.
Jamal
Raiola coming to Buford. You should have seen some of the high school coaches and their excitement about that.
Yes. Let's talk about the fallout of that. Like I know when as soon as we posted our last episode, that happened.
Yes.
And we haven't really talked since that happened. I know I've tried to do a little reaction piece and things like that. Just but let's get into that. Like how all of your coaching friends down there. I've been trying to call my cousin. I can't get him on the phone to see how excited he is because he's the offensive coordinator. He's the offensive coordinator at North Gwinnett. So I guarantee he's super excited.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say super excited, I say that as sarcastically as possible.
Well, one thing, Buford missing last year, they had Justice Haynes who came in. Really good football program. So I'm not taking that away from them. And they got some great kids. Gwinnett's huge. And they're right smack dab in the middle of it. You can sneeze and then you're like at a new school, in Gwinnett, and more, and far more than I do.
North is North Gwinnett's like 10 miles away, if that, from Buford.
It's
crazy.
I mean, it's so when I saw the news break, I think you texted me or I texted you. I was like, oh my God. I had heard rumors. Here in Georgia, you're going to hear rumors about who's going where. So I get a call and said that it's true. And I was like, well, dang, that's nice. You know what I mean? For me, it doesn't really bother me, because at the end of the day, I got to coach my team. Does it give you an advantage? Maybe, because Buford was needing a quarterback. That's one thing they were missing last year during the playoff run. But, man, you really can't do anything about it. And the fact that Raiola is coming to Georgia, the move makes sense. So if you're moving to Georgia, Buford's in Gwinnett, which is literally an hour away from Athens. Your family's moving over here to Georgia. It just makes sense to go to that school.
It makes total sense.
That's cool.
Yeah, it makes total sense.
I'm glad. I mean, it's great. I mean, I can't wait to see, what he does here. He went to a really good school. I think he went to Chandler in Arizona. So, I mean, that is a really, really top-notch program. So, I mean, he's playing really good football. Now he's just playing football in Georgia because he's going to the University of Georgia.
And now finally he'll be able to turn some guys there at Buford that don't normally go to Georgia. Like Buford's like the anti-Georgia pipeline. It's weird.
We get linemen out of Buford.
Yeah.
So that's really it that we get up from there. Dallas Lee, what's his name? Colton. I played with him that game.
Colton Miller.
Lineman out of there.
Is it Miller?
No.
Colton. There you go.
Yeah. So, you get those guys that come in, but they're linemen. You never really get the skilled guys. And, we're good on linemen right now. We'll take a couple more. Anybody listening, we really appreciate y'all and love y'all. But, skilled guys, quarterback's one of the receivers. So, that we got really good receivers here in Georgia. So
we got some really good ones coming in too. We've got some.
It's going to be fun too.
Yep, he's going to have plenty of targets. And then KJ Bolden, who's there at Buford, he's undecided. Maybe Dylan Raiola. Maybe.
Come on up.
Yeah. So I know all Gwinnett County's like, you got to be kidding me. and they're all mad because they couldn't get him. That's all it is.
Yeah, you couldn't. Or you didn't know that he was coming.
You didn't know he was coming, and then he pops up at Buford.
I kind of got a heads up. He was coming to Georgia, but I didn't think Buford would be the school. But then when I heard that he was going to Buford, it just made sense.
You should. Well, if you knew he was coming to Georgia, you should have reached out. You'd be like, "Hey, Dylan, bro, come down to the swamp. You need to come down You need to come down to where, man. This is the place to be. We are state champions. You get to be coached by me. And by me, I mean you.
And for anybody listening, I do not recruit players. That is a big thing that's going on in Georgia right now. It's a big old stink down here. So People
it's
poaching
10 times worse in Georgia. It's 10 times worse in Atlanta. Because they're closer.
It's bad. Well, mainly because, the schools are like 5 miles apart from each other, so
yeah, and they're
like,
all
for instance, McEachin's right here, and then Hillgrove's right here. Like, it's literally like across the street. You can see the school, from school to school. So, I mean, it sucks.
Insane. Like,
it's the way of the world now. Either you adapt or die.
Yeah.
I'm not saying go out and do it. But,
yeah. Y'all are a little more spread out.
Program. It's just like college football, in the transfer portal. Everybody talk about tampering, which we've talked about in our show all the time, because it does happen, so, either adapt or
it happens, man. It happens. You just got to figure out a way to, if you make your culture good enough, the tampering really doesn't matter. And a lot, like if a kid's going to go, they're going to go. It doesn't matter. Like I could call down to where, and let's say I'm trying to get your quarterback, right? Let's say I'm trying to get him to go. If he wants to go, he'll listen to me. If he doesn't, he'll be like, no, I'm good. Click.
Real.
But,
it's real simple, guys.
Yeah. It's like, ex receiver at Ware County. Innsworth has a great program. We're known we're known throughout the Southeast, blah, 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 and if he's even remotely thinking about leaving, he will listen. Otherwise he won't. Like, that's how you fix tampering. If you have a good enough culture, like I presume that you guys have, because it just seems like you guys have things clicking on all cylinders down there. Like I don't foresee that happening, but like in Gwinnett County, like everything's very volatile in Gwinnett County, more so than Cobb, more so, and then they poach players from like Grady, Douglas, I'm sure they go down to Atlanta and poach some of those players too and get them to move into their zones and things. And so it's if you really did a deep dive into that, you would be astonished at what you would find. You'd be blown away. You'd be like, whoa.
You could write a number one selling book on what's going on, up there. But, I'm happy for him. I think the whole family's uprooting and coming over, which is great. So it's a bona fide move, man. And it's going to be interesting to see how he does here. How he reacts to the heat, because over there it's dry heat. Over here it's this thing called humidity. I don't think he's really, accustomed to, but it's not fun.
No. Yeah, y'all's OTA, I'm sure, was very fun today. It's been very hot here too. Yeah, it's been.
You got wet about it 9 o'clock in the morning.
It ain't good. It ain't promising for that day. You going inside the gym, bud. Yeah, we had the hot weather too. I really enjoyed your tweet where you were like, now let me get this straight. Mother Nature cries for a week and a half. Now it's hot girl summer.
Yeah, it was hot girl summer.
I'm like, oh.
It was wonderful because everything's drying here, because it literally rained for like a week and a half. Like, it was like the Jumanji Jurassic Park rain too. Like, it wasn't just a little sprinkle here, dog. It was raining. I had poles in my yard, and now it's like dry.
Now it's like crunch. Yeah, it's I read that tweet to my wife. I read that tweet to my. I got an audible laugh out of that. I don't usually get that. An audible laugh.
One of my kids said I was dumb funny. I don't know what that means, but I guess it means I'm pretty funny. I'm dumb funny.
Just hit the fun. Just focus on the funny part. Just focus on the funny part.
Great.
Speaking of having their own glossary, Gen Z, they have their own glossary.
Absolutely, but
it's like this thick.
Absolutely. We came 7th in the Directors Cup this year, which is really good. It's the highest we've been, I think it's 15 years, something like that. So
shout out to Josh Brooks, man. He's getting it done, man.
The whole crew, I saw. Shout out to everybody on our recruiting circuit at Georgia as well. The diversity that we have, the way that they're able to, get recruits in and, show them the true Georgia way and things like that. So of all the bad things, negative things trying to come out of Athens right now, there's a lot of positive things as well that overshadow those things too. So we'd be remiss if we didn't mention those things as well. So, it's a great time to be in Athens right now.
Yeah, it is. Despite all the drama you're reading about, despite the articles and exposés of a rogue program and all that stuff, there's some really I know you're excited about that. You're excited as much about that as getting the wet bulb out at 9 a.m. So I hear you. But despite all of that, you've got a College World Series ring that's going to enter the dugout at Georgia, Wes Johnson. You have, Mike White, who is presumably turning the corner. He's doing pretty well in the transfer portal for men's basketball. Women's basketball is trending upward. They had a decent run after being down for a couple of seasons and having some tough luck. They had a nice run to the Sweet 16. Lost to Iowa, who was national runner-up. They had, so in softball, we made a super regional, got beat by the national runner-up at Florida State. Had a good run there. Tennis had a few national championships. Track and field did very well. Women's soccer, I have no idea how women's soccer did. The golf team did well. So I mean, sports are starting to trending up. Josh Brooks, I think, is starting to clean some things up in the athletics department and is starting to get some good coaches in here. So that's good to see.
Absolutely. And, it's the thing, when you spend money, great things happen. So when you spend the money and invest in your programs, we're moving everything kind of out there near the softball complex and things like that. I mean, football is football, baseball is getting a whole, new deal that they're building as well. So, I mean, when you put the time and effort and money into sports, you get the top-notch athletes that you want and you win. And when you win, people want to be involved. People want to come to your school. People want to be a part of that. So, Josh is doing a great job. All the coaches, across the board are doing a great job. So, I'm a proud alum. Congratulations to you guys.
Same here.
And hopefully next year we win that thing.
Hopefully next year we win that thing. We get a three-peat. Maybe, it would be so sick if we said, you know what, LSU, I see your women's championship and your baseball championship. We're going to win in the big three. What if we won a national championship? We did a three-peat, a men's tourney, and a College World Series in the same year. I think collectively the everyone's heads in the world would explode.
Absolutely. Then you'd be reading all the other kinds of stories about us.
Can you imagine that man that lives somewhere down in Metro Atlanta that writes for that fish wrapper? Can you imagine? Ooh. He's like, oh boy, it's going to be insufferable now. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Media days is going to be interesting for him.
Absolutely, and going to, I feel, for Kirby now, because somebody's going to ask those questions, things like that. But at the same time, how much more positive things are going on in Georgia right now. Came out of spring injury free, football wise. My quarterback situation is pretty much set. Offensive line is great. Defense is still knocking the hell out of people. So, I mean, the 3P is not, far-fetched by any means. It's the point of how great does Georgia want to be? Can you do it? Sacrifice the things that you're willing to put in to be great. And right now, coming out of spring the way we did and leading into the summer, I think we can make a run this thing one more time.
Let's win the SEC East one last time. Let's win the SEC as divisional champions one last time. Let's go into the new model as three-peat champions and kings of the conference. Let's do it.
Absolutely.
And we're going to tell you why over the next few weeks. We're going to slowly tell you why that I think this schedule sets up favorably. Can't say that word all of a sudden. We're going to tell you why I think Dominic Lovett's going to be the true X factor in this offense. Why Carson Beck is perfect for this role. What Michael Williams is going to do on a national level. And why I think Cedric Van Pran is going to be a first-round pick. And I'm going to make my case for Brock Bowers being top player in college football.
There's no doubt. There's absolutely no doubt. And I'm excited for our secondary. This is what I'm excited because, if you go back and watch the LSU game, go back and watch the Ohio State game, that was the biggest thing that everybody talked about going to the national championship game, which we all know how that went. But a couple of those guys are gone. So now, like I said, after me seeing spring and news has come out, and seeing the depth charts and things like that, those guys that have come in, like my man Nyland Green, my guy.
That's been your guy from day one. I love it.
Yeah, I've been with him since day one. So just seeing what they've done, and physical that they play with, and the communication that they have. I mean, because that's always been the biggest thing in Georgia. Front seven is going to be great. What about the back end? The back end right now, I would say is our strongest, position on defense is the back end.
Yeah, I mean, we'd get beat because there'd be lack of communication. We'd get beat because we had some guys in there that didn't understand coverage principles and would bust coverages. We would get beat on the rare occasion that we didn't get pressure on the quarterback or we couldn't keep contained. Like one of the touchdowns was because we got immediate pressure on C.J. Stroud. He was able to flush the pocket, which is the reason why he was the number 3 overall pick in the NFL draft, or number 2 overall pick in the NFL draft, to the Texans. He gets out of the pocket, finds Marvin Harrison Jr. in the back of the end zone. Marvin Harrison Jr. can lose even the best of corners. Like that guy's tough to cover under normal circumstances. Now you got your quarterback in a scramble drill. Yeah, good luck. And so like touchdowns like that happen, or like coverage busted, like against Florida, we completely bid on a play action and there was a miscommunication. Like it was supposed to be like safety over the top and they both took the low route, things like that where they're not quite in tune with each other. And I think a year of experience will help that. They're just as athletic. They're going to be stronger and faster. And I'm excited about Bullard. I'm excited by Starks. I'm excited about Lassiter. I'm excited to see the direction. This is going to be a way more athletic secondary overall, which I'm very excited about. And they're going to make some plays. My man Nyland Green, man, that's our guy. We need to get him on the show. That's our guy, man. That's your guy, and you've really bought a lot of stock into Nyland Green since day one. Dude. Since day one, I love it, man. I love it. So we'll get into all that. We'll tell you why I think. I'll tell you why I think, and I'm sure you agree because you played for him. But I'll tell you why I think Mike Bobo is going to keep this train rolling offensively. Like not like people are like, oh, you guys got Mike Bobo. Oh, it's Tennessee's turn now, man. You guys got Mike Bobo, man. You guys are going to go back to grunt and punt, and this offense is going to suck now. Nah, bro.
You adapt. Basically, you adapt or die. And
Bobo, I would say Bobo's more aggressive. In knowing him, you know him even better.
Yep. Yeah. 2 national championships in. I mean, you can't go backwards.
No, you can't. He'll have a similar scheme structure. Yeah. He'll have a similar scheme structure. He's way more aggressive. He is not afraid to tell Kirby to F off. Mm-hmm. He's about the only person in America that can do that. Him and Will Muschamp. So they're the only 2 people in this world. Yeah, like Mike Bobo can. I wish I was a fly on the wall. I wish I was on the headset channel when Kirby and Bobo were talking to each other, and Kirby tries his eat the microphone, yell at him, and Bobo's probably doing the same thing.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be fun times. It's a great time to be in Athens right now. Great time to be a Bulldog.
Yeah,
no matter what
it really is. No, but we'll get into all that on later episodes. We don't want to give you it all tonight because we still got some summer content left to fill. But we'll talk more about it. We'll talk more about it down the road. So enjoy our new set, and of course, it matches our intro a little bit better, and it gives us a new look, a new feel. And this is the next wave of the future. So catch us. Catch us next time. But we are the Believe in Georgia Dogs podcast on the Believe Network, presented by Betonline.ag and the Row One brand. We thank you for watching. Subscribe here down below in any one of these channels. YouTube, we're only 130 subscribers away from 500, which means we can monetize our channel. So be a friend, tell a friend there. Don't be shy. Find us anywhere you find your podcast, and also follow us on all social media. If you need a good Twitter follow, there you go, right there, over there, Troopstar28. Follow that one. Yeah, thank me later.
These streets, man. Hot girl summer out here. Y'all be careful.
Hot girl summer down there in South Georgia. Yeah, Mother Nature about knocked my power out for a long time today. Mother Nature was pissed up here in Tennessee. So I'm Corey Burton. That is Israel Troop. We are the Believe in Georgia Dogs podcast on the Believe Network. So long. See you later. And until next time, have a great weekend. Happy 4th of July, and we'll see you back after you celebrate America. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Do you believe?